pandemic, and many of us have lost very near and dear ones. For us to, it's almost time when we in India would say, how is anything else important? For us, life is so important right now, and what we have gone through. And many parts of the world have gone through such similar tragedies. But it is for this reason that I want us to talk about environment, because of three things. One, what we have seen in COVID-19 is really a result of our extremely dystopian relationship with nature. We know today that why COVID-19 has hit the world, and it is not just India, every part of the world has been similarly affected. And if you think about it, it is not even a DNA, but an RNA, which has brought the world to its knees. Such a small little virus. But it has been able to do so because we as human beings were arrogant enough to believe that nature could be conquered. Nature has hit back. This in many ways is the revenge of nature. Today, it is very clear that zoonotic diseases where viruses are mutating from animals to humans, are growing. Coronavirus is one case, avian flu, HIV, Ebola, so many viruses have hit us. And it is because we have, one, destroyed nature, that we are finding that these viruses are hitting us. But there is also the fact that we are destroying our relationship with nature in terms of the food we eat. Today, the food we eat is grown in an industrialized, chemicalized factory. It is not about local, it is not about biodiverse food. For most of us as Indians, we know that the biological diversity of our country is so critical for us. We believe in cultural diversity. Cultural diversity and biological diversity go together. Every part of India has its own cuisine. Every part of India has its own food that we eat. The same food that is eaten maybe in different parts is even cooked differently, only because for us, diet was about the ecosystem. Diet was about the local environment. Diet was about what we grew locally. It was about biodiversity. And we have lost it. We are losing it. More and more, we are eating processed food grown in sterile environments. We need to understand how food is part of the biodiversity that we need to protect. We need to understand our relationship and rebuild our relationship with nature through our food, through our own practices. And this really is why COVID-19 and the environment comes together. But there is another reason. I mean, in this last month, people in Delhi, where I live, and many other parts of India, have seen horrifying images of people gasping for breath because they could not get access to oxygen. Oxygen, something we take for granted. But oxygen is from nature. Oxygen is from the trees we grow. It sequesters carbon dioxide, gives out oxygen. Oxygen is destroyed when we end up polluting our air. And so I think what COVID-19 has taught us, and that is why this World Environment Day is so important again, for us to remember and to change our practices for the future, that we need to understand the value of oxygen in our lives. But we also know that, again, like food that I talked about, we cannot talk about growing trees without rebuilding our relationship with the people who live in the habitats of our forests. So we need to be able to grow trees so that we can build livelihoods of poor communities. And most importantly, we have to start seeing clean air as the most precious commodity we have going forward. Something we take for granted, yet clean air is life. The right to breathe is what we have learned through very painful lessons that COVID has taught us. So on this World Environment Day, I think it's so important, and the Indian Cultural Center in Qatar, so important that we all take this pledge that the environment is critical for our well-being, that climate change is the world's biggest existential threat, that we will fight it, we will understand it, and we will make the changes that is needed in our own lifestyle, in our own little way. We will contribute, because that's all we can all do. It's all part of us. It's our lives, and it's our future and our children's future. So thank you so much once again for asking me to do this. And I really wish you all the best. And I hope one day I will be able to visit Qatar and see you all in person. Thank you so much.